So yeah, like I was saying, the world today is very amazing, mate. Like technologically, like the advancement that we've made within the last 100 or 200 years, like technology, in terms of technology and and because of electricity as well, of
I
course,
think
like we always say.
it is amazing, yeah. It
Yeah,
is amazing,
yeah,
you know, how far man's gone,
yeah.
but it's also sad
Hmm.
in a funny way, you know.
Yeah.
Like with what man does, whatever I think, whatever man does, he destroys it, nature in a funny way at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, I can't explain it,
Hmm.
but like I say, we're living in a world with tons of roads in it. Roads everywhere, isn't it?
Hmm.
Roads are really important, aren't they? For some reason, you know, they're all lit up. You can imagine how much electricity it will cost to light up all the roads.
Yeah.
You know, each night. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Like, you can imagine it though. It'd be, you know, like a lot of money. You know, just pay for the electricity just to light up all the roads.
Yeah.
But like the money that we spend money on roads each year
Hmm.
is unimaginable.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
also death. We spend a lot of money on that.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like the Queen died, alright, yeah.
Yeah.
And people buy flowers, and I don't know how much that funeral cost in money. I know my money don't matter or whatever, but you know, we're living in a world where we're losing compassion in a funny way because we're so compassionate
Hmm.
about, like, as I say, we spend, you know, the flower industry, the death industry as well is phenomenal. You know, like they grow flowers, loads of them, just to cut them
Yeah.
each year to sell them. You know.
Yeah.
You know, it's a big industry. You know, they wouldn't want to lose it either. You know, do you know
Of
what I
course.
mean?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the alcohol, you know, alcohol business.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's people. You know, we're all stuck in like a glue here. You know,
Yeah.
like of inventions in a funny way and distractions. You know, and like I say, it's up to you really if you want to sort of like spend the next year going to the pub every night, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, you got a choice. You know, and that's the beauty. I think that's the beautiful thing about life, that we got choices.
Hmm.
You know, I mean, 10 years ago I used to go to the pub more often. You know what I mean? Not every night, but once a week or twice a week. You know what I mean? But now I don't want to do it. Do you know what I mean? I think, what did I do?
Yeah.
You know, do you know what I mean? I've got a bit more intelligent in a kind of way. You know, where I don't want to waste my time
Hmm.
in a funny way. You know, I ain't got much longer left.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I suppose I want to focus my energy in doing artwork or music,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, and leaving something beautiful behind, I suppose, you know.
Hmm.
You know, like, I think that's the nice thing, sort of leaving, you know, that made me smile in the last 3 minutes, that I've left lots of things behind, you know what I mean, that people can be happy about, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Kind of left for like a kind of a legacy, a legacy, so to speak. You know.
Yeah, you know,
Quite on
I
quote.
think that's
You know?
it really. It's good to do something great in life, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you know, you've made a lot of other people happy, and I think that would make me happy if I made a lot of other people happy by doing something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
You know, if I could make 1,000 people happy by doing a bit of a picture,
Mm.
that's great. I think. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that moved me big
Mm.
time. You know, make me feel good.
Yeah.
You know, make me feel happy. You know,
Yeah.
and you know, in the future you can always achieve more.
Yeah. Definitely.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true.
You know.
Mm. Mm.
I think people think about death too much, really, you know, or rather than enjoying life itself,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
You know, I think like life can be beautiful, or it can be horrible, you know. And I suppose it depends how you play it.
Mm.
I've said, you know, I've said sort of in previous episodes, like we all get dealt different cards, don't we?
Of
in
course,
life, you
yeah.
know, and it's up to you how you deal them.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, you can go to the pub every night, or you can go play cricket every day. You know, whatever. You know, it's up to you, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, I think we've all got different choices. You know, and it's up to you how you enjoy your day.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
Or how you waste your day.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true. All depends on what you're passionate about, you know, what drives you, you know, what you enjoy doing in your life, you know. It's what you should be doing every day if you can, you know. Because, you know, as we always say, well, as cliche as it may sound, life is short and you just have to make the most of it, you know. You know, take the good with the bad and just keep moving, you know, keep your head on your shoulders, you know, stay focused, keep pushing, you know, no matter your circumstances or your environment or, you know, the conditions in which you might find yourself in, you know, you just got to keep your head down, you know, keep going, you know that as long as you put the work in, as long as you invest your time and your energy and your money and everything else into trying to achieve whatever it is you want in life, or what, you know, whatever you are trying to gain out of life, then you can make it happen. But you have to be willing to apply yourself, you know, in you know, whatever it what you know, in whatever it may be, you know.
I believe that, like, you could be happy, right, if you got the mindset and the intelligence to be happy homeless. You know?
Some people are.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. You can be alright there if you got the intelligence. You know, if you got the gear really to keep yourself warm out there, wherever, you know, and the intelligence to eat right, well, and keep yourself comfortable, right?
Yeah.
And happy not having anything in life, you know. You can be happy. You know. You know, it depends what makes you happy in life. You know, like some, you know, a monkey, for instance, be happy with a bunch of bananas for the day and make him happy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, a cat. What does a cat want? You know, just wants to nap most of the day. Do you know what I mean? And sleep. As long as he's warm,
Got some
or
food.
she's warm,
Yeah.
and got a bit of food, they're all happy. You know.
Yeah.
And, you know, a cat really. When you think about a cat, they love being alone. They do like a bit of company sometimes, but you know, when they want to keep warm, you know, but they I think, you know, cats really sort of more alone creatures.
Yeah.
You know, they've learned to admire themselves, and
Yeah.
they've learned to sort of be happy,
Yeah.
and they've learned to live on their own. You know, I think they're quite wise, cats. You know, the cats are all can't speak English.
Yeah.
You know, but I think they're, you know, again, more, you know, I mean, the Egyptians used to sort of think they're cast them as gods.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So, like, I can understand why in a
Yeah.
funny way. You know. You know. Like cats, they like to keep themselves clean.
Yes.
As well, you know. So not much different to a woman, really. You know, if you ask me. I mean, I think like cats and females are quite alike. You know, nature. You know, because women like staying in bed. You know, not all of them. You know, but you know.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, going back to compassion and empathy, I hope that in the near future, you know, that people, it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case, because it seems like we're becoming even more divided than ever before, unfortunately, you know, just the way the world is today, right now, at this present moment, it seems like we're more divided than ever before, you know, and people are more frustrated and angry and etc. than ever before because of life and how hard it is for a lot of people right now at this present moment, like globally, you know. But yeah, I hope one day in the near future that people can be more unified, and we can, you know, be more loving and caring and peaceful and kind and compassionate and empathetic towards each other, and you know, just live more harmoniously, like more at peace with one another, and be able to build as a community and to like educate, you know, each other, and to share information and knowledge etc. You know, to just grow even more as humans. Like, you know, we're more connected than ever before today, so we should be using this to our advantage to, you know, become even more, you know, together as a collective. You know, to, you know, make the world better. You know, it's, you know, so.
I think. You think like our lifespans say about on average about 75 years maybe.
Yeah, so they
Yeah,
so they say, yeah.
Right, yeah.
Mm.
And you think like all the people that lived before us, you know, the history of the man, you know.
Yeah.
Like when did life begin on Earth, you know? How many million years ago did that happen, you know?
Yeah.
You know, apparently like insects have been around 40 billion years or something, yeah? 40
Okay.
billion years.
Yeah.
You know, and humans have been around for 20,
Yeah.
you know, whatever. But if you go back in time, you know, like all the different, you know, all the generations, and in sort of like 75 years, you know, do you know what I mean? Each human, whatever, each generation, you know, and we're just having a glimpse of it, you know. This lifespan is like a blink of an eye almost, do you know what I mean? What we've got,
Yeah.
you know, and then before we know it, we'll all be gone, all of us, yeah?
Yeah.
Right, and there'd be a new light here, sort of thinking, what, you know, this is the world, this is about to pass, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they had, shutdown then, you know, like in that year, you know?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and it's sort of like a history book, you know, because everything's written in history,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And in 500 years' time, people will be looking back, reading all this.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
You see what I mean, you know?
What? Yeah, exactly.
And it won't be long.
Yeah.
500 years, not long.
It's not a long time.
Not to the universe.
No.
No, not to the universe. It ain't got no time. You know, that's what I think.
Mm.
You know, the universe has always existed. You know, that's what I think. You know, you know, like I say, water. You know, never ages. You know, so you just got to think about that one. Just that question.
Well, water everything is made up of water.
Yeah, but you just got to think about that one question.
Yeah.
Why don't water age? And so if it doesn't age, it's not boring. You've got to just think about it. It's be realistic about the question, understand it. You know, water is to me like a metal, like a liquid metal, like I might have said previously. You know, whether I'm right or wrong or not, you know. But again, you know, it doesn't age. It simply doesn't age. We do. We do. We don't last long, you know, but gold, all that, you know, it's always exactly the same. All right, you know, look at it a billion years ago, gold looked the same as it did now, you know, do you know what I mean? Gold doesn't rust. You know, water, you know, it doesn't grow, does it? You know, it's just here. You know, you got to think, like, you got to imagine, can something just be here forever, you know?
Yeah.
Yes, it can. Yes, it can.
Well, there's someone the other day that made a really interesting video. They said, what if water was God?
Well, you know,
and the way they broke down this
possible.
video, the way they broke down this video, it was so, the way they done it, it was so, I'll have to share it with you, try and find it and share it with you before I go later. But it was so interesting the way they broke it down, and it was so interesting, you know, so.
Well, water is kind of God to us. We all need it, don't we?
Because we are predominantly made up of water.
Most of us.
The planet is predominantly made up of water.
So, and oxygen as well. You know, and oxygen to me is very like water. You either got, this is dry air, and that's dry water, wet water, do you know what I mean? But to me, water dries up. You know, like if you had a bit of water there, and you blew on it, it would evaporate.
Yeah, I bet, yeah.
It wouldn't have to be hot air, just blowing on it, you know. And blow on water, it dries it up. It turns it into oxygen, in a kind of way. Because you're drying it up, you know, and then it gets wet again, you know. But so you could, like clouds, if we didn't have no clouds, this earth would completely boil up, honestly.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
You know, the clouds really help to cool it down.
Of course, yeah.
You know, and it's quite magical how it all works.
Yeah,
you
but
know,
obviously
like
the way the rain works in coordination with the clouds and
just everything. You know, the ocean itself. You know, it's all to, you know,
Yeah.
It's all got a pattern,
Mm.
you know, in a funny way, you know, and I think it's sort of slowly grew, you know, this planet. I don't know, you know. I think it's getting older, you know. You know, and I don't. Sometimes I think it's alive. You know, you might laugh at me.
No, I think it is. I think it is, mate. It is alive.
I think it's a living thing.
It's a living thing for sure.
You know, I don't know, but you know, I find Earth itself a very interesting, magical place. I mean, you think about the other planets out there, yeah, Pluto, Mars, right? There's nothing on it. It's all dead.
Yeah.
But this planet, well, it's all mad. It's got life on it everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, like,
thriving.
Well, flies that small that you can't even see, you know.
Yeah,
like,
microcosmic.
you know,
yeah.
Every square metre there's life, if you see what I mean. You know, thriving with life, Earth is, and that has been for quite a long time. You know, and if you like, say, if you go back in time, mosquitoes used to be giant apparently.
Yeah.
A long time ago, but you know, millions of years ago.
Yeah.
You know, the insects used to be bigger apparently, but you know, whether that's right or wrong.
Yeah.
But you think like. Back in time, I do think that there used to be a lot more insects, you know, and they're slowly declining.
Yeah.
You know, and like I say, like this year, I didn't see a daddy long legs. I didn't see a moth. You know, and I think, hang on, what's going on? You know, I used to see loads of moths when I was younger. Do you know what I mean? And caterpillars, but I don't see anything now. You know, I'm thinking, hang on, there's something going on here.
Yeah.
Something not right. You know, and it's like because we're again. I think people are not compassionate, you know. You know, we're going around like 50 miles per hour in our cars every day, killing all the little ants, and you know what I mean. You know, it's simple. You know, and then that's why there's not many going around. You know, birds as well. Honestly, there used to be a lot more birds. Honestly, you know, and I'm thinking like 500 years ago, the birds must have been full of this, you know.
Yeah.
There used to be a lot more, do you know what I mean? But I think they're dying because the traffic every day that goes by are killing birds, killing hedgehogs, killing rats, killing people, you know, and it's not doing any justice to nature. You know, it's basically the ants have got a job to survive today, you know, because of that.
Yeah.
You know, but they are surviving obviously, but they're not thriving as much as they used to.
Yeah.
If you see what I mean. You know, and even like for instance, the flycatcher, right, which is a very colourful bird, they catch flies obviously. You know, they're declining big numbers today. You know, they're getting very rare because there's not many flies so much. You know, do you know what I mean? You know, but. And you think like another 50 years time, what's it going to be like?
Yeah.
You know, is it going to be more roads, more cars?
Well, who
less
knows?
Beetles and less
butterflies. Look at what's going on right now, mate. We could be potentially on the verge of World War III.
Well,
potentially.
I think they kind of write these things before they happen. You
know?
No,
me too. But I'm just saying, looking at what's going on right now, we could potentially be on the verge of World War III. And you know what I mean, this is some serious shit. You know, they're not really talking. No one's really talking about it and really, you know, telling people what's really going on and really what's really happening. You know, it's all, you know, you're only hearing a certain portion of the news that's actually, you know, but you know, shit could get serious. You know, potentially, you know.
So I don't really watch it all. You know, I just sort of like live my life.
Yeah, likewise.
Pay my bills.
Yeah. But I think people should be aware of the fact though that some shit could happen, you know what I mean? And if shit did happen, it would mean a lot of implications for a lot of people, you know what I mean? On a global scale, you know.
Well,
so
I already had my disaster, like, you know what I mean? I don't think I can have many more, you know what I mean? You know, I'm at the moment in life I'm happy. You know, and as I say, like, I haven't said yet, sorry, but like things can change for anyone. Nobody likes change.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
You know, and like I say, I think we rely on electric, don't we? You know, and if it went, wow, you know, that'd be everyone's power gone, really, wouldn't it? You know,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, we're every musician out there. needs a microphone, you know, it relies on electricity basically, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
You know, so,
Yeah.
you know, you can sort of think like the world could change just like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like no electricity tomorrow and never again.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? That would change the world completely.
Drastically.
Wow.
In the blink of an eye.
Well, it'd put us back in time, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
You know, to candle times.
Well, we just have to readapt like we used to, you know. That's it, you know. And we can build shit today as well, keep ourselves warmer than we used to back in the day. We have a lot more knowledge of building things and houses, and we have triple glazing today, windows.
Electric blankets.
And no, but I mean, even if we didn't have electricity, living in this modern day and age, we're able to build structures, structures and other things that they couldn't build back in the day. Like they didn't have triple glazing back in the day, and all this shit. Like we could build this stuff today and still keep reasonably warm in the confines of our house, if you see what I mean, without electricity, if you see what I mean. Obviously, we have to find somewhere to cook, of course, if we're going to cook, if you see what I mean. So you have to maybe cook outdoors, you know, because obviously, you know, if I have a fire in the house, if you see what I mean, you know.
Man's not always been cooking, you know. Do you know
No,
what I mean?
no.
You know, man invented, you know.
Yeah.
They invented. Well, they didn't invent it. You know, they just kind of discovered how to make it.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Control it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You know, that even changed the world in a funny way when we invented, you know, like discovered fire.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
It must have stopped us living so wild. You know.
Yeah.
You know, that's just it. Like people, they've become quite. They like their, you know, like for instance, they like their house free of germs, free of spiders. They don't want those spiders in their bed. Do you know what I mean? It's just like a tent, really. You know, you want to keep your spiders out. Do you know what I mean? Things, you know, do you know what I mean? And it's like we've become very sort of like upper class humans to everything in nature, but we're not. We're just like worms, really.
Yeah.
Really. You know, we're no different to the worms, you know, but we've got arms and legs, you know. You know, but because like I said, we've got hands, and because we've got super fantastic hands, slowly in time our brains have got really clever because of it, I think, you know. And we've made so many things in time, you know.
Yeah.
So many things, and you know, God knows what's been invented today.
Yeah,
Do
it's
you know
true.
what I mean?
Currently,
You know, today,
presently.
you can imagine how many people living on this earth today. I'm sure somebody's come up with an idea today, do you know what I mean? Somewhere.
Yeah.
Or a new song even, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, whatever it may be.
Do you know what I mean? It just goes on. You know, somebody might have invented a new game, you know, today, you know.
Yeah.
And so on, you know. Or a new cake.
Yeah.
You know, that's never been tasted. You know. It just goes on, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know? And I think people are just evolving, inventing new things. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, we've invented the cup, right? I don't know when the cup was invented or whatever. There's a cup over there, right? With a handle. But I don't think you can get much further with that invention. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a cup.
It's a mug.
You
Yeah.
know, you know, it's like a glass. You know, that's been around for centuries.
Yeah.
You know.
And there's different shapes and different variations of different types of glasses, but in, like you said, at the end of the day, it's all the same, isn't it?
It is, you know.
It's still the same structure.
Yeah.
That is designed for liquid, you know, for you to consume.
I mean,
you know.
they might make the cup with a better material one time.
Yeah. It might be more. Yeah.
You know, that keeps the tea hotter.
Yeah.
You know, a different material. Do you know what I mean? You know, like I said, people always coming up with, or working on it, coming up with better technology. You know, like you know, we've said about even Windows itself. You know, they're going to bring out Windows 12. You know, they're going to try to get it even better than it is. You know, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think like everything's being worked on. You know, whether it's the next TV or you know, so on and so on. You know, even they're trying to make paints better. You know, you know, for you know.
Yeah.
They have got better, really. You know, like now I go to shopping, I just get up this month, you know, and I don't have to sort of like pump, you know, put it in the machine anymore, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And pump
So-
in my number.
It's all contactless and
Yeah, it's all, you know, and that's sort of like, it's more strategy, if you ask me, you know. I say we're all kind of relying on electric today, you know, and you think, hang on, like, if this went,
Yeah.
you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know.
Because obviously their system is reliant on electric and the internet for that connection. You know? Yeah. That's why if you look on your card, the bit that you put next to the machine, there's 3 little bars, 3 little nodules on your card.
Yeah.
And that's the bit that you put next to the thing, if you see what I mean. Like, you know. Yeah. So technology, eh?
Yeah.
But obviously contactless only has a limit as well. I think it's something like £60 or something. You can do contactless, but anything above that or something has to be chip and pin, you know, to prevent, you know, theft and fraud and
yeah, all
you
this
know.
theft and fraud. We're living in that world, aren't we? Theft
We
and
are.
fraud and security, you know, even on
But
the internet, you know, like
we have to
computers.
We have to though, to a degree though, mate, because there are a lot of people out there today being scammed.
Oh yeah.
That have huge amounts of money and conned and all sorts of shit, like, you know.
Yeah, people get their life identity stolen.
Yeah, that's what that too. So
you know, it's awful what goes on, you know. So you've got to be wise and careful, haven't you? Really, you know, with everything today. You know.
Yeah. Anyway, mate, before we call it a night for this this week's episode, all about, you know, compassion and empathy.
We didn't talk about it too much, though, did we?
No. So we might have to do a part 2. It might have to be a part 2 of compassion and empathy, mate.
We talked about it a little bit.
We did. We tend to go up, you know, we tend to divulge a little bit here and there, you know, but...
Well, we're talking about, you know, technology really is taking people's, technology to me is kind of like a distraction.
Yeah.
You know, and people love it.
Yeah.
You know, but it kind of like, sometimes when you fall in love with something in a funny way, you forget about compassion and empathy.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know. You know. Am I right or wrong?
I guess it depends. I guess it depends on what it is. I think it depends on what it is. You know, like for some things you can be. It depends on what it is you fall in love with. You know, if it's your wife, you can be very loving and compassionate and empathetic with her. If it depends on what it is you fall in love with. You know, fall in love with the wrong things though. You know, it can. You know.
What is the purpose of life anyway?
I think the purpose of life is continuous growth, mate, to be honest. Continuous growth and evolution as a human being, you know. And to do your best as a human being while you're here on earth, you know. You know. To try your best and to do your best, you know. And to try to find who you are as a person and kind of find out what your purpose is in life and to try and fulfill that. I think that's what it's all about, you know. You know, your own happiness, your own, etc. You know. You know. I think that is personally, I think that's the purpose of life. You know, just to continually grow. You know, to evolve as a human being, to become greater and better every day. You know?
I wrote a quote the other day. There's one thing I do love in life, and that's my memory.
Yeah.
Because I remember you and the ocean, all the trees and all the flowers and all the stars. You know, I love my memory more than anything else.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you got to remember, you got to imagine if you lost your memory. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You'd be lost, wouldn't you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your memory is everything.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You know, it's good to have a good memory. You know. Yeah, and it's up to you, you know, it's up to you to make your own memory,
That's
really,
right.
you know. At the end of the day, you know, it's up to you to have a good day today.
Yeah.
You know, you can shout if you want, and scream at the rain, you know.
Yeah.
but I think it's up to you to make your own. You know, if you make good days up, you're gonna have a good future.
Yeah.
Because in a kind of way, your past is your future.
Yeah.
You know, it's like your childhood.
Yeah.
That is your past.
Yeah.
But it belongs to you, and whatever you did in your childhood, whether you did something wrong or whatever, or something good, it's all yours.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm.
whatever, and you know, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, so you know, your childhood is your memory. Your childhood is your memory.
Mm.
So is everything really you do. You
Mm.
know, your past is your future. You know?
It can be, but you can't. You can't always allow your past either to define your future, depending on what type of past you've had.
Mhm.
You can't allow it to define your future. You know. Sometimes you have to leave the past in the past
You learn from it.
and learn from it. That's it.
What you just like. Look
That's
at it
it.
like a photograph.
As a lesson, everything in life is a lesson. You know.
Mm.
That's what it's all about. You know, as human beings, we come to Earth to learn. You know.
Don't know why, but we do.
You know. Come to learn and to evolve. You know, to grow. You know. You know.
Yeah. Whatever this generation learns, we pass on to the next.
That's it. But that's why it's important for us, like I was saying earlier, we need to focus on the future and the next generation to come, you know. We need to make the world a better place for them, more sustainable, and just a overall better place for them, you know.
Well, I don't think we're doing a very good job of it at the moment.
Exactly. So,
you know, they got, I mean, basically, our children have got a heck of a mess to tidy up.
oh, for sure,
But
yeah.
what can anyone, you know, what is, do you know what I mean?
Mm.
You know, and maybe our kids will sort it all out, hopefully,
Yeah.
you know, do you know what I mean?
Hopefully, yeah.
Our children, you know, and I say our children because the next generation is our children.
Yeah.
You know, they belong to this generation.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, some people don't have children, do you know what I mean? But you've got to look at children as your children.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm.
You know, and this is another thing that's separated about things out there, I think, you know, with people. You know, like a long time ago, in towns or in, you know, in societies, children used to play all day, you know, but they've been taken away, they go to school all day, nobody sees them anymore, do you know what I mean? And all people get lonely because of it, do you know what I mean? It's changed things, slowly everything, you know, the way we've evolved.
Well, it's just conditioning, mate. It's societal conditioning, mate, from young. We all go through it, mate. Our parents didn't have a choice, so we can't blame them. You know, they didn't know any better as well either. A lot of the time, our parents at the time.
They were just having a drink and a bit of fun. And
they had to go to work, and the thing was that you had to take your kids to school, otherwise they would get in trouble. They would get fined or get punished by the government for their children not going to school. You know, so the children will go to school, parents go off to work. And then it pretty much like school pretty much is like conditioning for work, like we've talked about many times before. You go to school from a young age, from 8:30 or 9 o'clock in the morning to 3:30 in the evening, you know? So it's almost like conditioning, you know, 5 days a week.
People have been dominated for centuries.
That's all it is, you know?
The government's existed for centuries.
Mm-hmm.
Right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They've evolved by century, you know. If you
Yeah.
look at like the Prime Minister today, and then you go back in history, you know, it's all on the same book, you know. You know, prime ministers, it's all on the same book, you know. And they go back centuries, you know, and they've been dominating the whole society for many years, you know, and they're quite skillful with it today, you know. And that's evolved as well.
Yeah.
You know, do you know what I mean? They've got more people working in the tax office and God knows what, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, it is like the government is like. Well, you know, it's the opposite side to the people in a funny way. You know?
Yeah.
You know, they're making the rules up.
Kind of works against the people.
Well, yeah, you know, but you know, they've gone back centuries.
Yeah, of course. So,
You know.
yeah.
And it's not. I don't think anyone would be about that. You know, do you know what I mean? And they're going to be here next century as well. You know.
Yeah. Anyway, mate, before we call it a night for this week's episode, is there any kind of final words or thoughts or anything you want to leave the people in regards to compassion and empathy before we wrap it up and call it a night?
Yeah, just try to have more compassion in life, you know, because I think like the more compassion you have in life, the more happy you're going to feel.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Compassion is sometimes quite sad, really, though. Sometimes I wish I didn't have it. I can't explain it. Because it's hard, because I've got compassion, not many people have it, hurts.
I see what you mean, yeah. It's frustrating. Yeah. You don't understand why other people don't feel the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know, I get you. Yeah. That's society though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, you know, like, I think we just got to accept the world we live in, all of us.
That's it. That's it. That's what we can do.
And try to do something about it.
Yeah. Well, it starts with every individual.
I think it's education.
And education, you know.
No, really, it is all too educational, really, you know. I wish that everyone was educated, you know, like knew what I knew.
Yeah.
You know, and understood what I knew.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
About like say I've been studying insects for a long time, you know.
Yeah.
But other people haven't.
Yeah.
You know, so I just feel like I understand nature a little bit more than some people.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and I just wish that people had what I had, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
A bit more of an understanding, let's put it that way.
Yeah. Definitely.
That's what compassion is, I think. It's more understanding life.
Understanding, yeah.
Understanding life itself.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in to this week's episode. All about empathy and compassion, of course. We'll be back again next week, of course, with a brand new episode, so please stay tuned for that. We are the Philosophy Podcast, of course, as you guys already know. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this week's episode. Good night, God bless, one love. Like my mate said, try and be more compassionate and more empathetic towards other people. You know, just be more loving and more kind, and try and be more understanding of people's situations and what they might be going through, you know. And yeah, just try and, you know, as they say, do unto each other as you would want them to do unto you. Good night. One love.